So, I recently watched Ready or Not, Here I Come, the follow up to the 2019 horror comedy Ready or Not. And going into this, I had mixed expectations. First off, the first Ready or Not worked really well as a standalone film. It had a simple premise, a tight setting, and a performance from Samara Weaving that helped elevate the entire movie. For a lot of horror fans, that movie really established her as one of the standout modern scream queens and final girls. So when a sequel was announced, my first thought was, do we need another one? Not Here I Come is once again directed by the filmmaking duo known as Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, collectively known as the Radio Silence Productions. It's the same team behind the first film. So returning once again in the leading role is Samara Weaving as Grace and as the bride who survived that insane, deadly game with the Ledomus family in the first movie. This time around, the sequel expands the cast with several new additions, including Catherine Newton, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Elijah Wood, Sean Hatosi, and legendary filmmaker David Cronenberg. Also joining the movie. Now, story-wise, Ready or Not, Here I Come picks up right after the events of the first film. Grace has survived the brutal ritual of the Ledoma family, but instead of the nightmare being over, she soon discovers that the twisted deal the family made wasn't limited to just one household. There are deeper connections, more powerful families involved, and the deadly game that she barely survived may actually be part of something much bigger. And once again, Grace finds herself pulled into another world of survival. Now, because with movies like this, the danger with a sequel is that once you expand the concept, you might actually be risk losing what made the original special. Now, the good news is that this sequel actually works better than I expected. One thing that helps is that the story picks up right where the first film ended. Even though it's been about 7 years since the original came out, the movie does a good job continuing the story without feeling disconnected. And once again, Samara Weaving is really the center of the movie. She brings back the same frantic energy and dark humor that made the first film so entertaining. However, the sequel does run into a few of the common issues that come with expanding a story like this. The film definitely goes bigger in scale, which is typical for sequels, but in doing that, it loses some of the tight, claustrophobic tension that made the first movie so effective. In the original film, everything was contained inside that mansion, which created a lot of suspense. Here's the concept. The concept starts to feel a little bit more familiar, and the haunting aspect doesn't feel quite as fresh the second time around. But that doesn't mean that it's not entertaining though. It still works as a fun continuation of the story, and if you like the first film, this is the kind of sequel that makes totally and really enjoyable as a double feature. Now, as far as the future of the franchise goes, I'm not entirely convinced that it needs to become a trilogy. The way this movie wraps up the story feels fairly complete, and pushing the narrative further might be difficult without, repeating ideas. If the franchise does continue, I actually think a prequel might be more interesting direction. exploring the origins of the family and the deal they made with the devil in the first place. So overall, Here I Come is a sequel that doesn't quite capture the lightning in a bottle energy of the original, but it still delivers good enough fun, strong performances and dark humor to make it worth watching. For me, it lands about 3.5 out of 5 as a rating, and if you enjoyed the first movie, this one is definitely worth watching and checking out in theaters near you. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what you thought about Ready or Not Here I Come. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Thank you.